highlights of my week. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to switch on my video in the Russian chat. And before we kick off the questions, I want to carry on from what was just said, and we want to speak to people that have actually signed people up. So I know a lot of you go crazy when it's time to put your hands up. So I want to speak to those people who have signed people up, who have purchased packages since we started Marathon, right? So we're on Friday, the end of this week, and this is the third session of the week. And my name is Rita Ashen, and I'm a new Consumer Community Partner Program President. Wow, what a mouthful that is, right? And look at how many people we have got on the call just in the English room alone. And I see lots of hands going up everywhere. So I'm not going to hold you guys up anymore. Moderator, please choose someone and let's go to the questions immediately. I can see these people are very eager to speak and share their stories today. So whoever's been interviewed, please introduce yourself. Let us know what rank you are in the company where you're from, if you had any problems. So we want to speak to you about how it is that you got people to join this business. Are you practicing presentations in your groups, and do you hold presentations daily? So let's back that slide up, and we will wait patiently until someone unmutes and has a chat with us. Let us share some stories. I can see a lot of hands going up in the Russian chat, which is wonderful.
Hello, we have a speaker from the Russian chat. Hello, my name is Andrei. I'm from Samara, Russia. I'm a consultant in our program. I started working actively in January 2020 after I realized how large scale this project is and how powerful the philosophy and the ideology of that project was. And when I realized that, I had this internal urge to start taking action, and I picked up pace ever since. So I'm attending this marathon with all of you guys, and I think it's a really cool project. It's a motivational space we're all in, and for me it is a very good catalyst and something that supports me in all my actions and measures that I take. And the more I look into this product, the more I understand how long-term and necessary it is. And we can leave it as a legacy to our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And what's happening on our planet is not very pleasing indeed. And thanks to Andrei, our CEO, and all of the people that we have in our community, we're doing a good thing. And those projects that we have in the pipeline, they are really necessary and working. As for me, in the last session, after I received all the additional tools for me to be able to make a presentation, and I use them all, and they really helped me. Usually I make my presentations after an event. For example, I invite people to a training like Genius of Finance, and after the game Genius of Finance, I make a presentation for them, and it becomes so clear for those people, because before in the past I made a presentation without the Genius of Finance. Now I started doing after the game Genius of Finance, and every word that leaves my mouth strikes home and becomes more clearer, and you don't need to digest it for them. They get it right away. And I guess after 6 hours of playing, they already become more or less savvy about investing, finance, and you just need to add a few extra details from my presentation, and I have like 100% conversion, like all of them sign up, and then we sign the partnership agreement together. Some of them become investors right away, and some of them are ready to work and help us move this project forward and improve the world. I'm not afraid of using that word. And I'll recommend everyone use that tool, the game-based training, Genius of Finance. If you don't have the license, if you don't have the game, then I'm sure in your country, in your city, there are leaders who organize similar trainings. Invite them to those trainings. Buy the game, buy the license yourself, and be the host, be the game master. And then we'll have even more tools available to us to share this great opportunity. And another realization that I had is that our fund is the only fund that offers like additional opportunities, bonuses, in addition to being educated, and they become co-owners in companies across the world. So it's a genius move, to sell education with investment packages. So I'm grateful very much to our CEO and to this company. If you have any more questions, I am gladly take them.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. I was going to ask the question, have you started presentations, even though you've only joined up since January 2020, and you've already answered that question. So I'm amazed, and I want to congratulate you. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences with everyone. Okay, so let's take another participant. Do we have?
He also says that as soon as I understand what the project is about, what anything is about, I roll out very quickly, and I enjoy sharing knowledge, sharing experience, and I'm bursting from within, and it's easy for me to share rather than keep silence and keep it to myself.
Okay, wonderful. That's excellent to hear. We've got a go-getter in our midst, everyone. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And should we go to another participant? I can still see many hands up. We've got some eager people, Dennis, that want to have a chat with us today.
Людей. We have someone from the Italian chat.
Okay. Please introduce yourself. Takes a while for translation.
Yeah, also for the people to turn on their microphones and understand how it all works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're still having him connected.
Okay, just a little while longer, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience.
So, hello everyone. My name is Giorgio. I live in Ragusa, Sicily, the island of Sicily, and I'm indeed grateful for this opportunity to be participating in this marathon together with you. I'm a leader manager in our company, and it's been almost 2 years since I joined the company, and it's a great pleasure and honor for me to be part of this project. As for the last session and the homework that we received, which is to practice and make presentations. As you know, in Italy, we have this quarantine related problems. So the way I do it, I make presentations at home and I practice on my family members. And as Andrei said, you need to put things into practice because, we might be talking about same old things, but every time you mention something old, you still find something new in those things. So the more you do it, the more new information you get out of it. And also it is very important to share the information with other people, not to keep it to yourself. And of course, my life changed since I joined this project. And what else can I say? I was indeed flabbergasted, when I first heard about the genealogical family tree, about the future generations, when Andre visualized this like picture for us, and it dawned on me that we should not be mindful only of our lifetime, but we should think about the future generations to come as well, and we need to plant that tree which would withstand all perturbations, and which would please the eyes of our generations to come. And this is an incredible opportunity that we simply have to share with other people. Thank you for your attention.
Giorgio, thank you so much for that feedback. What you say is so true about the future generations and that exercise that we all did together, doing forward 7 generations, because it really does open your mind up to the realization that we're not just here for ourselves and our children and the grandchildren that we may see in our lifetimes, but long after we're gone, we've got thousands of people in our family tree that are still coming forward. So why not, if we can, make a difference for all of them now? So thank you, Giorgio. Great recommendations to do the presentations from home, everyone. We've got platforms like Zoom, or also you can call people on the phone. Okay, I don't want to hold anyone up. Let's go to one more person that we can interview before we start the next segment. So just wait for someone to join us.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Please introduce yourself.
Hello. Are you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Hello, everyone. All CRE community people from any corner of the globe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My name is Shoaib Fakir. I am from India, Maharashtra state. And my current rank in this company is consultant. And I want to talk about session 20 today, about its pension. I was delighted to this homework. While doing this homework, I learned a lot about this homework. This lesson made me realize how much I should be worth. This lesson made me realize how much I should spend my month. The marathon has given me a lot of knowledge. I can use this knowledge in several places. And my two recommendation to all our CRE communities: learn more by staying in touch with his company, because this company has a lot of knowledge, and this knowledge company share with us. And my second recommendation: wherever we like, we can do anything in that places. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And I think that will be the end of our interviews for now, but I just want to ask you all some questions. Thank you so much for everyone who shared some stories and experiences with us. Now, I'm just going to ask a question to all of you, so please use the chat. I can see everyone here, see all the participants, so please use the chat and let me know, are you practicing presentation in your groups? Can you comment 1 if that's a yes, that you are practicing presentations in your groups? And also another question is, are you starting to hold presentations daily? Now for that one, can you also, can you put a 1 in the chat if you are holding presentations daily? Now, if you're not, this is key, listen in. if you haven't started having presentations and you've been in the business for over a year now, can you please put a 3 to say that you have not started doing your presentations, and also give us a reason why. So for example, 3, I'm not confident, or 3, I don't have a PowerPoint, whatever it is, give us an answer so people in your groups can read that and give you a helping hand after this. I see some 3s going up. Some people that have been in the business and still haven't done some presentations daily yet. Now, we had Dr. Lydia share how to do a presentation, and then we have presentations all the time in the news in the back office. You can see presentations there. Now, I can tell you just from experience that how I learned is by watching more and more webinars. Really, that's how I learned, and immersing myself in a lot of knowledge is what gave me the confidence to know what I was talking about, and then to want to share that with others. But even as a newbie, that when I didn't know too much, I was so excited, I shared anyway, and I invited them to come to a presentation. So thank you for everyone being honest. I can see all the chats going wild. Now I'm going to go to our next segment, which is social networks. Thank you so much for your feedback. Can we switch to the next slide, please, everyone? Let's follow along together. So social networks, now we've done some of the segments, but of course, social networks, you need to have more and more information so you can maneuver this platform like a professional. So how to increase your list of clients. So first of all, when we open up and I'm going to talk about Facebook today, when you have a social network on Facebook, normally you add your friends and your family, okay? So we're not going to talk about that. That's your normal market, your normal warm market that you do, is you add all your friends and your family that you already know. So we're not talking about them today. We're talking about how to increase your list of clients apart from those people that you already know, okay? So let's go to the next slide. So first of all, when we're talking about social media, we always, and before we do anything that's really interactive, I always say mind your appearance. Now, you don't have to look like you're, the business person out of Harvard, but first impressions do count. So when you are interacting with people, it takes them only a minute, 2 minutes maximum, to know a lot about you by just having a look at their notification, seeing that someone is trying to connect with them, and then do a bit of a background check like a private investigator, right? They can get into your profile and they can see pictures of you. They can see things that you've posted. So first impressions count. So we want to make sure that you've got a clear profile picture. There's no point in having a picture of a Harley Davidson motorcycle or maybe a flower. People want to see you, and if you can, try to make the picture current. Not a picture of you when you were 5 years old or as a teenager. Try to put a current picture there so they know exactly who they're going to be interacting with. Now also, your cover photo behind you, make that interesting. You can have an interesting mix of posts. I know we had this chat, Stuart and Andrew Tweltree also went over this. So have a mix of interesting posts, exciting, colorful pictures. You can have pictures of, just because you may not travel, it doesn't mean that you can't have a lovely picture of a villa in Spain and just say something like, I would love to visit this place. So you don't have to be going to those places, but have exciting things. And please, everyone, if you are trying to make connections on social media, you should avoid drama at all costs. Don't bring all the personal problems onto social media. People don't necessarily want to read all of that. And also, you have to choose whether you're going to make your profile public, so everyone gets to look at your profile, and if you just want your friends only to see it. I can tell you, if it's just friends, you will be limited, but that's a decision that you're going to have to make on your own. If your profile is public, then it goes out to a wider audience. So always mind your appearance first before we start chatting, because I know a lot of you have just recently started your Facebook pages. So I congratulate you for that. So let's go to the next slide. Now, we want to join some groups, some social media groups. So this is how you get new people, new clients into your client list. Think about what it is that you're interested in. I'll give you some ideas. You can join some work at home groups. For example, you may join a group that says MLM India or work at home Chicago. So if you are in that vicinity, it's better. So join a work at home group from your community. Also, like if there are interests that you have, you may like to garden or join a gardening group. Do you like cars? Are you a car enthusiast? Join groups that you have some knowledge in or that you're very interested in. Now, crypto is so exciting right now, so maybe you want to join some crypto groups and you can get lots of hints and tips from some enthusiasts there as well. Also food. Now, food is very interesting. Food always brightens up a Facebook post. So join some food groups, some recipe groups. It's very easy to interact with people on these kinds of groups because everyone has something nice to say when they are fronted with some delicious food, right? Maybe you're interested in sports. Join a sports group because as people post in these groups, this is where you can interact with total strangers because you guys have something in common, right? So there's no use to join a group about cricket if you have absolutely no idea about the game at all, because you're going to not know how to comment and you're not going to make sense to the people that are chatting in those particular groups. So I hope that makes sense. Join groups that you have an interest in or that you are already knowledgeable about. Now, let's go to the next slide, everyone. Now, how to start dialogue with a new person. So first of all, you want to make sure that you're natural. You don't want to force a conversation. If someone puts a post up in these groups, let's say it's one of the food groups, they put a post of a chocolate cake and you can just reply to that person or comment, say, wow, that cake looks delicious. You know, just something like that, something very natural. And then you can get into a conversation with people like, how long did it take to make? Or can I get the recipe? Or, you know, you want to do something that's natural. So interact and comment in these groups. So choose a lot of groups to be a participant of so you can make sure that you've got a lot of different conversations going around the many, many things that you are interested in. And ask a feeling question. So for example, if you're in a work at home group and someone does a post, you can ask them, how do you feel about, you know, maybe, you know, with this virus going on right now that we may not be able to, you know, you have our jobs, work our 9-to-5 jobs. How do you feel about that? So ask people questions like that, open questions, so they can dialogue with you. Because if you just talk about yourself, then they're listening. So you want to actually ask them something where they will give you a reply, and then you can have a conversation with them. Eventually, we want to take this conversation off the comments and into the private message area. Also, you can agree with a person. If someone puts a post on and you don't know what to say, but you do agree with them, just say, oh, I think you're absolutely right. That's fantastic. I mean, something so simple like that. It doesn't sound forced at all, and they may just interact with you. Also, compliment them on something. If you're in a gardening group and you see that they've you know, harvested some great vegetables, say it. Just say to them, wow, you know, I've never done this before. I'd love to start planting, you know, pumpkins. Where would I start? You know, start some dialogue like that. It's really easy once you get the hang of it. Now, you can also laugh if a post is funny. That is a feature where you can, it's like a comment, but you'll see it on Facebook, where you can press on love or you can leave a comment. These things will make people see that you have interacted with them. There is the like button, everyone. But I think on Facebook now, lots of people are just over likes. We like to see that you're really interested. And if you are, you leave a laugh or you leave a love. Also, request 10 new friends daily. In these groups, if you start some dialogue with someone, don't be afraid to send them a friend request, because once you start dialogue, or if you're in a group, it doesn't seem so strange that you're asking them to be friends. Maybe they will private message you and say, oh, do I know you? You sent me a friend request. And then you can say, oh yeah, we're in the sports group together and you did a post on blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't seem so weird once you're in a group together and you're already interacting with them. But I can tell you this much, a lot of people don't question friend requests. They're just happy to get them. And also, if you get friend requests, go through your friend requests and try to add 5 to 10 people daily. Don't overdo it, because Facebook will cut down on that kind. There's an algorithm there, and sometimes if you add too many people or reverse, they can put some limitations on your account. But before you add these people, qualify them first. And what I mean is, go and have a look on their page, because you are also figuring out if you want to work with this person as well, right? So we don't need to grab everyone. We want to grab great people that we can work with. Okay, so go and have a look and check them out too. Look at their page and see, is this the kind of person that I want to work with? So it's a two-way street. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, everyone. Thank you. Also, just a caution, and that is to be aware, not necessarily beware, but be aware that not all people are created equally. You may start a dialogue with someone who really doesn't want to talk to you, and maybe they can leave a message that's a bit, unsavory. So just be careful. Just know that, not everyone out there is friendly. Just want you to know that if you need to exit, stop a conversation if you have to. And also don't forget that there is a block feature there if someone starts to, reply to you and you don't like how that makes you feel. So please don't be afraid to do that. Just be warned that, social media is great, but there are times that you can get into some sort of sticky situation. So make sure that for those newbies that are on social media, that you don't have to put up with a conversation that's not going very favorable for you. You can opt out and just block yourself, and that way you won't see this person conversing and that person won't see you. You become invisible to each other. Even if you share the same friends and you comment on the same post, once you block someone, you both don't see each other. And so that is a feature that you can use if you have to, and I really hope you don't have to. Now, next slide, please. Now, this is definitely my favorite feature to use for adding new clients, second to getting them from work at home groups. And this is the list feature. Now the list feature, as you can see on the page here, you create your own list. So let me just tell you that when you are making a post to everyone, you can choose if your post is going to go out public or if it's just going to go to your friends. So public will have a round picture of the globe. If it's going to go to your friends, it will have a picture of 2 people, so that's your friends only. And if it's going to go to a group that you've made the list, there's a picture of a person with a picture of a notebook next to it. So only people that are really savvy will realize that you've created a list. So what is so great about lists is that you get to handpick the people that you want to see your posts. So for example, what I do is if I'm creating a list and I want to invite people, maybe family that are still not in this opportunity, I'll create the list, I'll name it so I know what this list of people means. So for example, I may write family members who are not in my business, right? And then I will start to complete the list and add family members that are not in my business to this particular list. Now, the list can only take a maximum of 100 people, so be aware of that as well. And once you create your list, when you go to make a post, that can be an audience, so you can choose what audience you want. So your audience can be either public, or your audience can be just your friends, or your audience can be the list. And what is so great about choosing the list is everyone on that list will see your post in their feed. It's not maybe it will come up, maybe it's an algorithm. No, everyone will see. Now, we don't know if they're fast scrollers, if they're scrollers that actually read, but you know that they will get the post that you're doing if they are on the list and if they're scrolling. Also, so this is a great way for you to create a list, but also don't stop at just one list. Create many different lists and categorize them, and this is how you can get the audience to see the particular post that you are wanting to show. So if that has been helpful for you, can you please put a 1 in the chat if you did not know about the list feature and that you can create your own list and that they will see your posts? Okay, great. I see that that has been helpful for some of you out there. Wonderful. Okay, now, so that is my segment on how to get new people from Facebook into your client list. And I want to welcome Andrew Twelvetree to come and take our next segment for you. Everyone, was lovely interacting with you as usual, and I'll see you later on for the homework part.
Wow.
Okay.
Rita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, so everyone can hear me. How cool was that, guys? Rita rocked it with that information. I learned some stuff there. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Andrew Twelvetree, obviously. I'm a president with the partner program, private investor, international speaker, and all-round good guy. So if we move on to the next slide, we'll get into it, guys. Because just a couple of things with what Rita shared. When I add friends, can we go to the next slide, guys? And when I add friends, I actually check their profile before I add them, all right? Because I don't know whether it's just me, but I tend to find that I get a lot of friend requests from fake profiles and things. So I make sure that they're real profiles before we, hello, what's going on here? Where'd Zoom go?
Andrew, do you have the slide deck, or do you want me to?
No, I thought they were going to run it for me. They normally do.
Yep. Okay, can we get the slide up in the English chat, please?
I don't think they're going to be too extensive, but basically I'm going to, it's like a sentence or a question. I'm going to expand. Now, when Rita shared how to start an interaction on Facebook, the chat lit up. It's obviously stuff that people want to know. What do you say to new people, right? How do you interact with them? How do you make a friend? Because really that's all you're doing. You're making a friend. So to make a friend, what do? Right? It's human nature. To make a friend, you make them laugh and find 3 things in common, right? Do that and they'll think you're cool. Simple as that, right? Now, how do you do that with every person? It changes every time. So you've got to utilize social media like you're walking up a path on the street and you meet up with someone face to face. You've got to treat them like it's a conversation on the street corner. You can't just go, hi, I'm Andrew, here's my business. You've got to, like, it's going to become, what are you talking about? It's like a doctor. If you walk up to a doctor and he goes, here, take this, right? And he's giving you a medicine and you go, what's that for, right? You haven't spent the time to diagnose, well, you in that example, but you haven't had the time to diagnose what someone's problems are to then offer them a solution, right? You've got to have the make the friend and find out their problems and or desires conversation, right? So we're sharing experience. Well, I'm going to share an experience where I had a conversation with someone that started a couple of years ago. And this person's since come into my team fairly recently and has exploded. Okay, so I met in a group somewhere. All right, we just thought, hey, this guy looks really switched on, and I found one of his posts. I commented on it. I loved it. All right, I'll put a real good comment, like a thought out one, couple of sentences. Then I sent him a friend request, and he obviously saw the comment, answered it because it was on his post. Then he sent me a personal message. All right, and then we started interacting. Now, when I start conversations, guys, I use a lot of photographs and things in Messenger to break the ice, a lot of emoticons and things. Right now, with this person, it was no different. Now, he goes, what have you been up to? Right, and I said, actually did a short, a day trip up to the river just recently, and then sent him some photos. Now, can you see my video? All right, I sent a block of 12 photos. Can you see that? Can we get some chats or ones in the chat if you can see that? Now look at, now I'm not sure, can the Russian chat see that as well? I can see, yep, they can. All right, look at the photos. We've got one of a sunset, some emus, some kangaroos, all right, a campfire, all right, a restaurant. Now they're all photos from the place I went, all right, but do they look really cool? All right, now to be honest, I went and got 2 of those photos off of Google, even though I've been to that location because their photos were better than mine. All right, now when I sent that, he went, wow. Did you just break his state? I'm sorry, I've got sweaty fingers now. That's the whole point, is to break their state, get them to change their thought from what they were doing to you, all right? Then we had a conversation, and then we said, oh, have you got kids? And at that time he had 3, I think. He's got 5 now, all right? I said, yeah, I've got kids, all right? That's mine when we were younger. Can you see me? I was sitting there playing PlayStation or something, and all the kids were climbed on top. Now, that was many years ago, but that's a really cool photo. Now, this guy started sending me kids' photos back. All right, do you reckon we're making friends? And I said, but they're all growing up now. And then I sent a photo, all right, of the kids growing up. But can you see, if you send 1 photo, it goes big. If you send 3 photos, it sends them 3 in a line. If you send 6, it puts them in a block, or 4 or 8. You need to send either 1 or an even number of photos, right? Then you go, oh, look, I love fishing, all right? There we go, a big red snapper and a fishing boat. All right, that's just, I've got all them saved in my phone and my computer so that if during a conversation something comes up about fishing, I say, oh yeah, you should have seen it when I went out fishing the other day, or not the other day, or whenever it was, a couple of months back. Bang, I sent them a photo. It breaks the ice brilliantly, guys. And you can have a back and forth conversation, right? And then you'll see the big fish, and that will be one of his dreams, to go and do this. All right. I've also got the work ones where you're at work and the big, the hard hat and all that sort of stuff as need be. But that's a very powerful way to break the ice and make a friend very quickly with someone. Now, you can have that conversation in 8 minutes. Be best mates, all right? Because you've shared a bit of your story. Now, remember a few sessions ago when we talked about story? What you do, what you don't like about it, what you've found, and how you feel about the future. If you share that story in amongst all the conversation, they'll start sharing theirs with yours. So you can turn a cold contact, like I did with my guy, into a warm contact. Now, we built a relationship over 2 years after that initial contact. We knew we'd join forces on something, and so be it, it's this, all right? And it's very, very exciting. So, all right, what's on the next slide? Because we've kind of gone through that interaction, how to break the ice, automation system through social networks. Right, there's a few things you can automate. Now, there's a few trains of thought on this one, guys. you've got like your messenger bots with ManyChat and so forth that can have your standard responses if they click certain things. But here's my view. You can utilize them if you're putting a lead magnet out there, like a capture page where you offer something of extreme value and click on the messenger to get the results, and it sends them an automatic message and say, hey, here's the video you asked for, but while I've got you, do you want to do this? If you like that, do you want to do this? They're great for that, okay, and I have them, all right? But if you're having a conversation with someone and they sense that you're a bot, guess what? You're out of there. You've blown your chances. So as for message templates, this is a good one, and I do this. You can have a WordPad or a Notepad or a Word document open at all times on your computer so that when you're having a conversation, okay, when you're having a conversation with someone, they might ask you, oh, what do you do? Now, instead of typing it out every time, right, you can go and copy it, paste it in there, but then just make out your typing for a little bit, like and delete it, right, just so they know you're not copying and pasting, and just bang it in there, right? So you can have, as you build this up, you're going to get the same questions and same conversations that you want to have during that. You can build up your arsenal, so to speak, of responses. So they ask you for, what do you do? And you'll get your little 30-second pitch, copy paste. All right, but don't make it so obvious that you're copying and pasting. Like, you can't type this much in 1 second. You've just got to type back and forth a couple of times and then hit enter. All right, that will make life a lot quicker when you're having conversations, and it will absolutely help you have multiple conversations at once without seeming like you are, right? You read it and then you take a few minutes to respond because you're responding to 6 other people at once. But if you have your standard kind of responses, you can absolutely carry on more. Now, with adding friends, Rita said 10 a day. I've added up to 20 or 30. All right, and haven't had an issue. I think once you get up to 40 and 50, you might struggle a bit. But I don't just add friend, add friend, add friend. I spider. Now, I went through this last time, and Rita actually said, you know, you give them a compliment, you pick your battles, right? Pick the people that you want to work with. Don't reach out to people you wouldn't want to work with. Right, look at their profile, have a look, see if they've got looking somewhat professional. If you like who their profile is, then find a post that you can love and put a comment on, right? Because that's the best way to get someone's attention. And not just, yeah, great post. Think about it, write a couple of sentences and send it. Then you send a friend request and a personal message. Now, in that personal message, just say, you ready? Was just trolling around Facebook. I came across your profile, right, by chance. Compliment is the next section. You've got some really awesome content on here. I actually watched the video on blah, blah, blah. All right, big high five. And I said, and then after the compliment, you say, hey, I'd love to reach out and connect at some point. Message me next time you're on. How powerful is that, guys? Give me a 2 in the chat if that little compliment you could use. All right? Do you want me to repeat it if you've missed it? Okay? I was just trolling through or scrolling through Facebook and came across your profile by chance. Wow. People love that. There's lots of 2s coming in. Then I say, you've got some really awesome content on here. Really big high five. I enjoyed the post on such and such. Now, here's the thing, guys. When you're commenting, like real comments on other people's posts, is that not like a piece of content for you that's out there? Other people will see that comment and come back to your profile. Have you ever heard of like gang hook fishing where they run a line out and there's hooks dangling off the line with different baits, right? Quality comments on other people's posts are like a hook in the ocean, right? They'll go, look at this guy. Then they'll come to your profile. They'll see a professional banner. Remember that? We set that up last week. All right, some quality content. Your feature photos are all set up and you look professional. You're going to gain leads that way. All right, so I hope that helps with automation. The only other way is to have lead captures and lead magnets and all of that kind of stuff, which is another story really. That's a whole other world. And if you get caught up in trying to create funnels and things like that, rather than just talking to people, it may well slow you down because you can get caught up in information overload, right? You get caught up in trying to do a blog and then a video. But where you can attract a lot of people is to actually create content. Now, you can do that on your Facebook profile. Now, Rita gave you a good example. It's got to be like a reality TV show. Have cool photos, motivation, inspiration, right? Where the rubber hits the road, guys, is Facebook or videos, especially live ones. Now, if you're too scared to do one live, pick up your phone, press record and record a video. Now you're going to go through the emotions of, oh, what do people think? Who's going to see it? If it sucks, delete it and do it again. Because I tell you what, my first video was embarrassing, appalling. I mean, I blew the battery 2 times before I got a take that I was happy with. Then I uploaded it to YouTube, watched and nearly threw up. It was that bad, all right? I've lost that photo. It was like I was trying to be the big, you know, with the suit on in the garden, trying to be the big salesman. But really, just relax and be you. If you fumble on a word, so be it. Okay? People just see that as real. People want to hear your message. They don't want a sales pitch. So just be you. If you fumble on a word, it doesn't matter. But I tell you, the more you do it, the better you'll get, right? I rarely do a second take on a video and, you know, say, all right, okay, a lot. I say gonna. Now, gonna is Australian for going to, if you don't understand that, okay? So that's what you can do. Now, Facebook Lives on, you know, they attract a lot of people. Now, what do you do lives about? Your target audience, all right, networkers who've tried stuff before, had limited success, you know, whatever your perfect client is, you create content that answers the questions they have. So, for example, your question today would be, how do we utilize social media? How do we start a conversation with someone? Now, I think that Rita and I have done a reasonable job of giving you some workable or usable information and tips that you can go and apply immediately to go and get some runs on the board, to go and get some results immediately. Now, I hope you'd agree with that. So on that, I think it's time we brought Rita back out and we went through the homework, perhaps. Are you there, Rita?
Yes, I'm back
here. What a team, 1-2, punch. All right, so do you think we've covered everything or should we do a little Q&A before we give the homework?
I'm wondering if we should take some, I'm wondering if we should take some
questions. We've got 10 minutes left yet.
They'll have this is an extra, so we can get some live questions. So let's go to the Q&A. Maybe even read in the chat and see if we can answer something right now. Let me see.
All right, people are asking questions. They're not really questions. About social media.
We have a question. I'm sorry, we have a question from the Russian chat.
Far away.
So the question was how to make sure, or how to get people's interest so that they look out for me and come and seek conversation with me, not the other way around.
Can I do that one, Rita? Become the hunted,
Yes,
not the hunter.
Yes.
All right.
That was actually the question, yes.
All right. So the best way to do that is to create authoritative content that answers the questions they have. All right. So if they aren't certain about how to invite people, you create a Facebook Live saying the 3 secrets to having an awesome invite that people will be asking about your information, and create a video on that, right? 4 reasons why people ghost you when having conversations, right? You don't want to be ghosted anymore. So you create 4 reasons and just do a Facebook Live on it, right? Rita, you do great lives on different topics. What examples would you give on that kind of situation?
Well, normally when I do a live, it's something that's current to the day. So it could be, you can do something current to news events. If you're getting a lot of people say, they're worried about something that's in the news, then do a live on that and then ask people for what their opinions are. But when most of my lives, though, I do lives that are current to what's happening in the business. So it's a little bit different, but it's something that's current and something that's interesting. Yeah,
like
and
the
it doesn't.
Fact that Bitcoin halved in price last night. It went down to 3.8. I saw a quick question pop up from Ian Birch in Queensland. He said, "What about LinkedIn?" Now the answer to that is same principle. Create content that your target audience will want to know, that answers their questions, that solve their problems. That's what attracts people to you, because that gives you instant authority. And what are people conditioned to react to is authority, right? When you go and join a new program, you're not going to join Joe Blogs, who their Facebook profile's got, a fishbowl on it, compared to someone who's got a professional, banner, and they've got, a good thing and nice photos and content. You're going to join them every time, aren't you? So be that person that they want to join. Simple. So any other questions there? Virginia says she doesn't understand how to save the response for future.
Okay. That would just be on a
Word
just be on a Word document. Yeah. Have it on your computer.
Yep. Simple there.
Because you get asked the same question a lot.
Yeah, I just have a notepad or WordPad on mine. It's just open the whole time.
There was one question someone asked, how do we know if a profile is fake?
Oh, dude. 3 phone calls, all right? And you watch, you'll probably have a third go. How do you tell if a profile's fake? They're getting better. I'll give them a tip. But if you just look at it and the profile is like 2 months old, there's like 4 posts on it, it's obviously fake, all right? But if you've got something where you can look back in the history and there's 3 years worth of photographs and content and all that, that's real. You can't fake 3 years worth of history. So you'll learn, all right? You'll get the ones that, the Forex trader scammers, they'll come in and you just see FX and, right, you get to pick them very quickly. So just be very wary about what's online. Don't send money to anyone, right?
One more question,
Don't be
Andrew,
afraid
I'm sorry,
to ask.
from the Russian chat. Someone asked, after how much time you should start talking about business, or you should make a business proposal?
It will guys, talk until it's absolutely obvious. All right? And until you've found out like their pains and their problems, there's no point in trying to say, are you open to looking at a business opportunity? Because here's what I train with my team, all right? You have the conversation and they start telling you their boss makes them work 2 hours overtime a day and they don't pay you for it and all this. And here's the first, I've got 2 questions. You ready? What are you going to do about that? Or how are you going to get out of that? What are you going to do? How are you going to fix that? Can you change jobs? Right? A little one-line question that will eat at their subconscious brain. Now they're looking for an answer to their problems. You're messing with their head, right? And they don't even know it. It's a throwaway question. What are you going to do? They will lose sleep over that now. Right? Oh, dude. They will lose sleep over that now. So the next question is, all right, and so, oh, you know how you were talking about all that? I might have a way out. They are going to be jumping down your throat, aren't they? All right, so that's that little one-liner, what are you going to do? It will become abundantly apparent when to say, I might have a way out, because you've been through the conversation. You're going to be going, I should say it now. I should say it will become apparent. Don't force it. Let the
conversation. And it's not a
trick
question. Yeah, no. It's not a trick question. I mean, you really want to know how they're going to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Genuinely, we want to know how we can help them.
Absolutely. Well, this is what we are doing. We're helping people. And once you get that mind shift from I'm doing this to make a commission to I'm doing this to help somebody, everything changes. All right. Shane has asked a quick question there. If you strike up a friendship from someone on a distance, how do you move on from there? I get them on Messenger or a Zoom. All right. Rita and I, 4,000 kilometres apart, and we're talking real time right now and also talking to you all around the world. Zoom is extremely powerful. All right, learn it. Are there any other questions, Rita? Or
we can take one. We can take one more, and then we can go to the homework, because they always look forward to homework, right?
Yeah.
On a Friday afternoon.
We got long homework tonight?
No. Oh, well, we'll see.
All right. Well, should we punch that out? It's now about 4, so.
Okay, let's have a look at the next slide, everyone. Thank you. Okay, it's task number 23. Okay, first one is add 5 to 10 contacts daily and start a conversation with them. Wow, you got lots of hints and tips from Andrew and myself today. Homework number 2 for number 23, conduct 5 rendezvous per day and invite them to the presentation. Now remember, rendezvous, they're meetings with people. Just to clarify what that is, and hold 3 presentations daily. Now, everyone, these presentations don't have to be an hour long. Presentations can be very, very short. Like I said, when I first joined the business, my presentation was less than 3 minutes. And that's how I first started building, just a quick video and hey, take a look at this. It was very simple. Yeah. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I do. The presentation, guys, doesn't mean that you have to stand there and do it. A presentation, in my view, would be to send them a 3, 5, 8 minute video and either watch it with them or have them watch it and talk to them straight after. So don't get all scared, guys. I have to do presentations. Send out 3 videos a day and follow up. And I tell you what, you'll start to get some rock and rolling action going on. That's all I wanted to add. Because people get all scared about doing presentations. Don't have to be. Use the tools.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Andrew. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this session. Please give me a 1 in the chat if you did. and Andrew and I will go away smiling.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
It's blitzing. Cheers, guys.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the remainder of your day or evening. And maybe for those who want to get some consolidation, we'll see you in another few hours' time for the second session. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. See you guys.
Thanks, Andrew.